Hello everyone, welcome back to my video. In this video, I'm going to explain what is the Ielts test. Before I'm going to explain about Ielts test, let me introduce myself. My name is Cornelia Mayun. My major is Informatics Engineering, Engineering Faculty in Manado State University. What is the Ielts test? International English Language Testing, or Ielts, is an English language proficiency test that has international standard. Ielts is managed by three well-known organizations. The first is British Council, IDP. The second is Ielts Australia, and the last is Cambridge English Language Assessment. Ielts is specifically designed to assess the language skill of a person who wants to study or work in a place where English is used as the language for communication. Ielts is an indicator whether someone is able to use English or not. Next, the types of Ielts. There are two types of Ielts. The first is academy and the second is general. Ielts academy test is used for the people who want to continue their study abroad who use English as the language of communication. For example, Canada, Australia, America, and England is a country that requires people who wish to apply scholarship abroad to study. They must to take the Ielts test. The second is general. The Ielts test general aims to measure English language skill in everyday life. This is commonly used by people who want to work or do short training abroad. People who want to live abroad are also required to take this general test. All candidates are tested in listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Listening will take 30 minutes. Reading will take 60 minutes. Writing will take 60 minutes. And speaking will take 11 next to 14 minutes. Total test time 2 hours 45 minutes including breaks. The first is listening. The listening test, we have to answer 40 questions in the multiple choice format, complete the text, link the question to the answer, and complete the semantic. The listening test consists by 4 sections. Section 1 generally is a conversation between two people in everyday social life. For example, the conversation when looking for a place to live. The section 2, the second section, monologue in the context of social life. In this section, I'm to test your understanding in capturing the speaker opinion or emotion. For example, a speech about local facilities. Section 3, conversation between a maximum of 4 people in learning related situation. For example, a discussion between a lecturer and his student about a given assessment, or a group of students discussing their research project. Section 4, monologue on academic topics. Lecturer told by lecturers. General listening strategies. The first is recording is play once. The second, read question carefully before listening. The third, familiarize yourself with question types. Completing a chart, selecting pictures, note-taking exercise. The second is reading. This component aims to access participant various reading skill, including the ability to follow an argument and the author's statement, attitude, or purpose. Participants will read 3 long texts on a topic that will be students at the undergraduate and postgraduate level or someone applying for professional registration in English speaking environment. After that, the participant will come to answer 40 questions related to the text they have in faith. Time to answer question is 60 minutes. In general, the text used in this component is taken from magazine, books, journal, and newspaper. Some of the text may also accompanied by diagram, graphs, or illustration. The types of question you can find in this section include: the first is multiple choice, the second is identifying information, the third is identifying or author view, the fourth matching information, the fifth match the title, and the last is matching feature. General reading strategy. The first is identify reading skill being tested, and the second is practice this skill. Next is writing. The time to answer the question in test writing in the writing test is 60 minutes. The Ielts academic writing component consists of two tests, namely academic writing test 1 and academic writing test 2. For academic writing test 1, participant will be asked to explain some visual information such as graph or diagram in writing. In this test, participant will be given 20 minutes to write about 150 words. For example, the test taker may be given a machine diagram and asked to explain how it works. Don't forget that an answer that is too short results in a deduction. For academic writing 2, participants will be asked to write an essay approximately 215 words in response to an argument, problem, or point of view in 40 minutes. This test has the largest portion of value, so make sure you complete it well in the allotted time. Since the assessment has a specific topic, you will get a deduction if your content extends beyond the specific topic. General writing strategy. The first is read the question carefully. The second is familiarize yourself with description of data in newspaper textbooks. And the last, practice formulating your own ideas on topics. The last in the format test is speaking. The duration to answer the question in the test speaking is 11 next to 14 minutes. This component assists the test taker ability to use English orally and is divided into three parts. The part 1. Examiner will ask the question on general topics such as work, studies, home, hobbies, and so on. Part 2, participants will be asked to talk about a certain topic written on a card. Participants are given 1 minute to prepare and then 2 minutes to speak. The examiner will then ask follow-up questions about the topic and the answer the participants have given. The part last or the part 3, the examiner will ask further questions about the topic discussed in section 2 so that the participant can talk more deeply. This section takes 4 next to 5 minutes. Now I will tell you the things that need to be considered during the speaking test. The first is speak fluently and link ideas coherently. Participants must demonstrate an effort to speak consciously and be able to connect ideas and language to form coherent speech, such as using logical sentence structure, narrative or argument, and linguistic tools. Second, display various appropriate vocabularies. Participants must use a variety of vocabulary appropriately when expressing ideas or opinion. The number of variations of the word used is the main thing to pay attention to. The third, use accurate grammar and appropriate list. Examiner assess at the level to the participant ability to pronounce long and complex sentences and use various types of sentence structure. And the last, speak so that your listeners can understand. Participants must be able to pronounce the words well so that the examiners can easily understand their utterances. Next to the speaking strategy. In the part 1, the speaking strategy is take the initiative of if possible. The second is always say more than yes or no. And the last, try to overcome nervous. The speaking strategies of part 2 is take the 1 minute preparation time. Jot down some main idea and show interest in the talk. And the last, speaking strategy part 3, give informative responses. Demonstrate your control of the language. Attempt to express abstract ideas. Support your opinion. And the last, show that you are willing to provide extensive replies. Next, I will explain about the scoring in the Ielts test. Ielts provide a profile of the candidate's ability to use English. Candidate receive a score on a band scale from 1 to 9. You will be able to see the result of your Ielts test 13 days after the test date. You can view your Ielts result online or contact your test center. Ielts scoring system. There is no pass or fail in Ielts. Scores are scored on the 9-band system. Each university or school of education sets its own minimum Ielts score to meet its individual requirements. The Ielts test result for the 4 sections, namely reading, writing, listening, and speaking, are provided separately, most averaging 6.5 with band score above or equal to 6 in each of the 4 sections are accepted by most university and school. Next, the band score of Ielts test from 0 to 9. Band 0 didn't attempt the test. No assembled information is provided. Band 1 non-user basically lack the ability to use language beyond a few words that may be isolated. Band 2 intermittent user, no real communication is possible except for the most basic of information using isolated words or short formula in familiar situation and to meet argument needs. Has great difficulty understanding spoken and writing English. Band 3 extremely limited user, convey and understand only general meanings in very familiar situation. Communication breakdown often occur. Band 4 limited user, basic competence are limited of familiar situation, has problem that often occur in understanding and expression, cannot use complex language. Band 5 modest user, has most of the language comments, overcoming the overall meaning in most situations, although it tends to make a lot of mistakes. Must be able to handle basic communication in his own field. Band 6 competent user, has generally effective command of the language despite some inaccuracies, inappropriacies, and misunderstanding. Can use and understand fairly complex language, particularly in familiar situation. Band 7 good user, has operational command of the language, albeit with inaccuracies, mismatch, and occasional misunderstanding in some situation. Generally handles complex language well and understands detailed reason. Band 8 very good user, has a fully operational command of the language with only unsystematic inaccuracies and mismatch. Misunderstanding can occur in unfamiliar situation, handles complex detail argumented well. Band 9 expert user, have a full operation command of the language, appropriate, accurate, and fluent with complete understanding. Now I will tell you about the general strategy in the test of Ielts. The first is familiar yourself in this test. The second is practice, and the last is time management. Next, I will tell you about the books is useful books about the IELTS test. The first is Cambridge IELTS 3 with answer. The second is Insight into IELTS, Vanessa Jackman and Claire McDowell Cup. For the useful website, the first is UCG introductory site www.agsepa.com, IELTS homepage www.ielts.org/index.htm, and the last is ELC homepage. Example of writing test. Students should continue their study abroad than to study at home. To what extent you agree or disagree with this statement? Give reason for your answer and include any relevant example from your own knowledge or experience. To answer the writing IELTS test, it consists of 4 paragraphs. In the first paragraph, we state whether we agree or not with the problem or problem at hand. After expressing our opinion, in the second paragraph, we provide a statement that supports our opinion. And the third paragraph, we again reinforce the opinion we put forward by providing facts. And in the last paragraph, we conclude our opinion. So we can see in this model answer. In the first paragraph, personally, I really do agree that students should continue their study abroad rather than study at home because there are some benefit. In the second paragraph, people who learn about a second language will help them to apply for a job. In the third paragraph, studying abroad will create big chance to keep the relationship with others or to make friends. Addition, studying in another part of the world enables us to support the two government. And in the last paragraph, the conclusion, it is very understandable to study overseas will create some difficult will experience such as unforgettable moment in his or her life. Okay, that's all my explanation about IELTS test. I hope this explanation can help us to understand what is the IELTS test. Thank you for the nice attention.